to do your workup, we're not able to get your blood, and we're not able to do anything. But this poor level of activity is not good. So you realize that your functional capacity is very, very low. So we have a bit of an issue again. Because you missed your appointment again, saying you were sick, but it turned out you weren't. So what is your excuse this time?
I just
8 hours sleep. Okay, and that's not healthy, but depression may be a factor in that too. If you're sleeping.
Have you ever met those people who act like weight loss is some unsolvable mystery, but they're the same ones who stockpile snacks like the apocalypse is tomorrow? They'll tell you it's their genetics or some cosmic imbalance, but let's be honest, it's the midnight pizzas and the snack breaks that last all day. It's like they're living in this bubble where every donut doesn't count and exercise is an abstract concept. They'll swear they're putting in effort, but somehow that effort never includes saying no to dessert. That's what we call lack of self-awareness and delusion. And when the talk is about these two things, Ann Jeanette's name comes on the top of the list.
my son Christopher and my cousin's daughter, which her name's Lacey. She's 11. She lives with us. I took Lacey because her mom and dad are making some bad decisions right now in life.
Ann's the kind of person who'll lecture you about bad life choices while she's halfway through a double cheeseburger at midnight. It's wild how she's got opinions on everything except her dessert menu, which somehow always includes 2 options. She wonders why nothing's going right for her, but maybe the universe just isn't equipped to handle that much irony in one sitting. It's like she thinks ordering extra fries is a power move, not the reason she's stuck in the same spot.
So it's best that she stays with me. Lacey, it's time to get up. You gotta get up. Good morning, sunshine.
Ann's over here thinking she could be a better guardian than Lacey's parents, which is hilarious when you realize she's practically a planet at this point, creating her own gravitational field from bed. Honestly, it's a safety hazard. Poor Lacey might get sucked in and start orbiting around her. Forget parental advice, Ann's biggest achievement is defying Newton's laws. And also, why is she half naked in front of a child? No way Lacey's parents are making decisions worse than it is to be in this situation right now.
I really didn't think it was a good idea, but I don't think God would want me to.
Ann's got this grand delusion that she's the best person to look after Lacey, despite the fact that standing up for more than 3 seconds seems like a Herculean task for her. What's her idea of caregiving? Tasty snacks? Highly doubtful, since Ann's specialty is hoarding every bite for herself. So if Lacey's learning anything, it's definitely not how to live a balanced life, but how to navigate around Ann's personal buffet.
This is it. And as hard as it is for me to sit at a kitchen table, I do it because I want Lacey to have a normalcy. So we'll go in there and I cook breakfast. Would you help me get my skillet out?
Yeah.
If I can't reach something, she reaches it. She loves cooking. And of course, with me needing help, it works out perfect.
It's pretty clear that Ann is putting a lot of effort into covering up her own mess, trying to portray it as a beautiful puzzle where everything fits perfectly. But let's be real, it's not hard to see that her so-called perfect fit is just a well-disguised attempt to ignore the fact that her dependence is causing all this chaos. She paints this picture of harmony and balance, but it's more like she's trying to convince us that her tangled mess is actually a masterpiece.
Today I am at Dr. Now's office to get his help. And I'm about to find out what I weighed. I just hope it's not a huge number.
We all know she's not shocked, she's just disappointed that her years of delusion didn't magically reshape reality. At this point, it's beyond recovery. She's out here pretending like she's been working so hard, as if life just dealt her some unfair low blow that she can't even believe. Honestly, what's there to be shocked about? If you're chugging down 20 burgers a day, reality isn't exactly going to bend in your favor. The real shock should have hit when the fridge became your best friend.
Claiming you lost 120 pounds since I saw you. Last month it was 70 pounds, so you're saying you lost another 50 pounds since then?
Yes, sir.
Then how come you don't look like it and you're still on oxygen?
I don't know, sir, but I have been following my diet and I'm doing great.
Angela, you're more delusional than I thought if you still think you can manipulate.
The delusion is still going strong, where she genuinely believes she's doing everything in her power to manage her situation. Maybe in her world, losing 50 pounds means cutting her dessert from 4 slices to 3. But the doctor isn't buying into the emotional manipulation. He knows exactly how to handle people like her, and putting her in her place is probably the kindest thing he can do.
So I'm getting to a really bad place to where my size is affecting my life at this point. But I know the problem behind that is my eating. That's why I'm like this. but it's something I've never been able to control in my life.
Ashley, with a sprinkle of self-awareness, still leans on her feelings over the facts of her situation, as if those fries and sugary cokes are some divine test she's doomed to fail. By calling herself unique, she's managed to dodge accountability like it's a game of dodgeball. Apparently, the devil's favorite trick isn't tempting souls, it's shoving fries into her hands and forcing her to guzzle soda, because it's not in her control.
At any time there's food around me, I can't help myself because I am addicted to food. I can't stop. Food is an addiction. Everybody has their addiction of choice. Mine just so happened to...
One thing's for sure, Ashley isn't just deluded, she's downright entitled. She talks about drugs like it's a choice, bragging that she picked food over any other substance, as if that somehow makes her better. But here's the kicker: while she's patting herself on the back for her better addiction, she's completely blind to the fact that food is making her life just as miserable. Even if she did any other substance at this point, she still wouldn't be the highest in the room, since the immense amount of force will keep her down.
It's what I use to get me through all my struggles in life. No matter if it's sadness, depression, being bored, being by myself, any of those things will trigger me to go eat so that I make myself feel better. Because when I eat, I feel complete joy.
Ashley's got everyone believing her life is one long, sad, miserable spiral, and that's why she always ends up back at the fridge. But here's the thing: she's invented half these problems herself. And even the ones that weren't there to begin with, well, they sure are now, because she's convinced herself they are. It's like she's using her emotions as a full-on buffet pass, an excuse to keep shoveling in the food.
What's going on? My dad don't give a about me. Let me just eat.
Ashley's always talking like her problems are so huge, like there's no way she can make a choice for herself. And somehow that means she's got to grab every snack in sight. She's convinced her life's harder than anyone else's, so of course that justifies the constant eating. People deal with tough stuff all the time and still manage to keep going, but Ashley? She's stuck, probably got wedged in the doorway trying to leave her problems behind.
But over the next year, the loneliness made me deteriorate. So that's when I started my second addiction, catfishing people a lot.
So your master plan to beat one addiction is to just pick up a brand new one, and it's catfishing? I mean, at least with food there's a clear reward: you eat, you feel full. But what's the appeal in lying to strangers online? It's like replacing fries with emotional manipulation, except neither fills you up and both leave you feeling greasy. Plus, if you think heartbreak burns calories, you're in for a surprise. It doesn't.
Ashley, I want you to listen to what I'm about to describe to you, okay? You're describing a psychotic break. That's a break from reality because your real life was too much to cope with.
Yeah, because like no one knew what I was going through. Like no one knew I was hurting on the inside. Like no one knew.
I'm sorry, Ashley. Sorry that you were in so much pain and no one noticed.
Wait, you're telling me that after lying to people online and wasting their time just to make yourself feel better, you're still acting like you're the victim? And even after confessing this bizarre crime, you're managing to squeeze out a few tears? Ashley must be the biggest delusional we've seen, both physically and psychologically. If anyone else did this, she'd probably use it as yet another excuse to grab a snack. You'll be surprised how little you know about self-entitlement when you see Lee.
Because she started criticizing me a lot. And she would call me names and say,
"You're too fat, you're too big, you can't have that." And then it was like punishment to me.
so all of that just ended up having the opposite effect on me. And I kept eating even.
Here she goes again, blaming her surroundings for making her choose food over her own well-being, like we haven't heard this story 1,000 times. When it comes to personal responsibility, it's always somebody else's fault, right? Imagine having the gift of food, something so simple, and instead of using your brain to figure out how much to enjoy, you manage to turn it into a curse. By becoming like a fat ogre, she will only run into more problems and will ultimately come back to the first excuse she gave.
Unfortunately, my dad was almost as bad as my mom when it came to his disappointment about my weight.
The master of all delusions is the one that convinces you it was your parents who could have done better, when in reality, you've got the golden opportunity right now to change your situation. It's like endlessly finding reasons to justify that extra cheese, bacon, jalapeno sandwich every time hunger strikes, stacking those excuses as high as the cholesterol. You just keep pushing the blame on anyone or anything else while acting surprised that your jeans haven't fit since 2012, as if they're the ones that shrunk.
Having children because of my size and weight.
At this point, I'm not sure what I weigh. I hope I'm still in the lower 600s, but I know I've still been gaining because I'm still eating worse than ever. So I have to find a way to lose.
That's where she's wrong mostly. It's not like surgery is the only way to lose weight. You know what else works? Not starting your day with 3 big chicken jalapeno sandwiches from McDonald's and then following it up with a quarter pounder as a snack. If she could just piece her brain together for a second and realize, hey, maybe it's all the food that's making her overweight, we wouldn't be here trying to solve the mystery of the missing waistline.
With wanting to go get something I shouldn't just to feel better, shows me how much I need to do this and how important it is I get surgery. This is my last chance to get help, and I have to.
The problem lies in how she keeps convincing herself that surgery is the only option for losing weight. Maybe she's just using her emotions as a free pass for all those cravings, like it's some kind of coping mechanism. All she really needs to do is lay off the sandwiches and the triple extra cheese. The funniest part, she could totally manage this on her own if she stopped acting like the fridge is the only therapist she needs.
So he said he needed to check my weight now, but I'm so scared about getting on the scale and that I might have messed everything up.
She thinks she's giving it her all, but let's not forget she had burgers and fast food during her trip, straight out of her own mouth in the episode. It's hard to take any progress reports seriously when she keeps sneaking in all the not to does from her own program. It's like claiming you're on a diet while holding a milkshake in one hand and fries in the other, which isn't a very rare situation for Maja. Just keep replacing the fries and the shake with other foods.
This is your fault.
Oh, you haven't lost that much. Yeah.
Because of the stress of you treating me like this. I'm about to melt down. Doctor Now asked you a simple question.
I've answered questions in the past. I can take a day off.
I hate you. I hate you for doing this to me, Christian. Why can't you just answer the question?
And naturally, it's his fault. Everybody's to blame her mom, her dad, now her fiancé. It's like a conspiracy, right? All these people work overtime to make sure Maja stays exactly where she is. Because, if she actually lost the weight, life would probably get a whole lot better. But if she had that figured out, maybe she wouldn't let anyone's drama, guilt trips, or emotional sabotage keep her from making real progress.
It's very humiliating, having my own child have to do this.
It's bleeding.
But she does it because she loves me. And I know that.
He's beyond deluded if he genuinely thinks anyone is still helping him out of care, when in reality he's become a full-time burden. It takes a team of 7 people just to get him to move a muscle, and honestly, that's not what anyone signed up for. It's sad to watch, no doubt, but the solution isn't exactly rocket science, eat less, move more. If he truly cared about his daughter, he'd do it for her, not keep drowning in excuses.
And I never knew if we were gonna have enough to eat. So I just started to eat much as I could when I got the chance. And I remember the joy and safety there was in food.
There's always this same tired excuse floating around. People say they're eating more to cope with some emotional void or past hurt. It's like a universal script, but really it's just a way to excuse their food addiction, making it seem like a valid reason, rather than what it truly is, an endless cycle of feeding their cravings under the guise of dealing with their issues. And it only leads them to a deeper hole which never ends.
And I can't really take it much longer. But he's bedridden, so I'm an enabler. I bought this food and I carry the food to him, but I don't know how to.
People often see someone struggling with their weight and think it's all about the choices they made, and that's true, they're there because of their decisions. But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be a dead end. Change is possible, especially if the enablers get their act together. Lisa, James' wife, seems to be stuck in a mindset where she believes she can't stop herself from giving him more food. If she really thinks that, she's either in denial or needs a serious wake-up call.
Taste something you're craving in the morning is one of the best things ever.
Yeah, it's hot.
Thank you, baby. When I take that first bite, it's heaven. I just love it.
His mindset is trapped in the belief that he can't live without unhealthy food, which is a serious red flag. If he genuinely thinks that these indulgent meals offer more satisfaction than being a good father and husband, then his brain definitely needs a serious reboot. It's like his priorities are so tangled up that he's convinced junk food is the answer, when in reality it's only making things worse.
Cheated a couple times, so I don't know what the problem is. I thought I was doing better.
His mindset is so diluted that it will take more than just cutting down on cheat days to make a difference. If he keeps treating every day like a cheat day, he's only setting himself up for failure. A real change in thinking is crucial if he's going to make any progress. If he doesn't adjust his mindset, he's looking at some serious health issues that could seriously jeopardize his life.
Can you not eat it?
Are you kidding? Life is meant to be enjoyed, so I just had to find a balance between the things I enjoy and what I need to do.
It's not hard to see this isn't going anywhere. The fact that he still prefers his food over the very pain those cravings are causing shows just how disconnected from reality he is. He's trying to numb the boredom of losing weight by clinging to what gives him comfort, even though it's the very thing he's supposed to be leaving behind.